Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you guys have had a great week so far. Hope you have a nice, happy Friday. And we'll get started pretty soon. Let me just kind of get a few things situated, and we'll get started. So for today, what I decided to do now, as some of you probably saw the poll that I put out, there I have you vote on what type of character you want me to see me draw for tonight. So I ended up going with two. So tonight, I'm actually be drawing Aqua Hungerforce. That was actually suggested by one of you guys earlier this evening. And tomorrow, I am going to do something with the Animaniacs. So I figured that since tonight, tonight's a Friday night, and since it aired on Adult Swim, which is always at night, figured it'd be fitting to do that. So I figured I would do. I'll get started. Some of you can probably see I've already kind of started with kind of a brief little rough sketch here, some with a gesture drawing, and I think I'll get started. And so what I'm gonna do for this particular sketch now, I was thinking about just drawing the characters as is. Maybe they're all just like kind of hanging around the house because that's pretty much how the show was like. They would kind of bum around the house, and occasionally they would get caught in like some like very bizarre like adventures. But I figured what would be interesting to do is do something where they're actually like crime fighters because that was actually like the bait and switch. That was actually the original concept when they were created because and actually I didn't find this out until very recently is that pairing of Aqua Teen, they actually initially appeared, as prototypes on the old Space the Coast to Coast show. They was called Bathroom Meal, and basically they were corporate mascots they co- where they fight crime, conquer hunger, and teens. And funny, not surprisingly enough, I think both creators, a lot of creators that worked on Space was ended up working on Aqua Hunger for Team Force as well. And so apparently, what they did is that when they were pitching the show, they really they decided to go all in on the crime fighting route, and then did the bait and switch and actually kind of do what's kind of more of a stoner comedy type deal because they knew kind of executives they really didn't want to see a show where it's just about food go around just doing random things. But in the end, it really ended up kind of working out for them. And so I figured for here, what I could do for these if it's good, maybe they're like in a car, their own little crime car, their little vehicle. And like maybe Meat Watts behind the wheel, Master Shake, he's like he's in the passenger side. Frylock, he's probably in the back over here. And I was gonna keep with just these three, but I figured maybe I'll put car on the side too, because even though he knows I have no crime car, maybe he's just there as an unwilling participant. So I'm just gonna kind of lightly kind of sketch everything out. And I think what I will do here is that I'm not too concerned about keep things on model, so I'll probably end up doing something that's kind of my own style. But also, I'm kind of taking. Hey, Record Stream, say hi. I also better hear you. Oh, really? Can't? I'm glad you dropped in. Let me see if I can bump it up. Hang on for just one moment. Hang on. Can you hear me guys a little bit better now? Yeah, for some reason my microphone acts a little bit odd like this. I'm not sure why. Let me see. Let me make sure my microphone starts working. Hey, Tropic, it's really great to see you. Glad you had dropped in. And so I figured what I would do for pretty much kind of himself what I just do as I'm drawing his characters like since you know Space Ghost was initially kind of Hanna Barbera production, I figured I'd draw him in a way where it's more it's more influenced by like the old school Hanna Barbera rather than say the later stuff that was being made by Adult Swim at that time. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna do a light sketch. Let me just kind of map out where their faces are. If I want to make sure I have enough room for fry like actual fry locks, because in the show, like they would actually show. Well, apparently, in original content, he was actually a wizard, but then they had kind of dropping that concept, but they still let him keep his levitating and his shocking powers. Let me kind of bring out the front hood just a bit more. Let me just kind of bring this out. I need to back in a bit. Cause I figured rather than it be just a full on car itself, I'm thinking it'd be more like a buggy. Let me just add the little hubcaps. Let me add the grill in the middle. I'm gonna have to bring this down just a bit here. We have a little extra little side section for their wheels. Let me kind of bring this out there because I figured since they're in a kind of a big vehicle, they need some big wheels. All right, so let me see. So for Shake, so pretty much a lot of expressions, at least as far as eye expression, it's pretty much fully set on how the top how top is that since he's basically like one huge paper cup. A lot of expressions kind of vary depending on how it's tipped up or down. It's simple but really kind of unique design. So I think I'll have it tipped down here. I know Shay doesn't really have much power other than the fact that he can squirt on like tapioca. That and Aqua Teen Uncle Force, where every time he drops something, it explodes. In fact, let me bring this out more so it's more like a hat. Let me have a side hand where his hands are gonna be. Also, let me get Frylock here. Let me get his little goatee. Hmm. Let me bring this eye over just a bit more. And of course, they could have maybe two of his little Frylock that he's kind of sticking out his antennas. Or maybe they got either antennas or for just very long hands. Maybe we'll have some ones that are taller more in the center. And have them get progressively smaller as I go further out. Then we have Meatwad here. There we go. I figure I have him kind of behind the wheel. Because even though he's kind of the youngest one in the group, he's probably the one that'd be more willing to do it. Because I don't think they really drove all that much. Because I remember the Larry last I think it was one of the season. I can't remember if it was the series finales or the season finales. It was one of them where they finally did leave leave the house. And what's funny is that they didn't really like peel off. They just kind of kept like lurching forward, like inch by inch. And Frylock kept telling him like, "Look, you don't know how to drive." And Shake's like, "Yeah, I know how to drive." I forgot the whole thing went entirely, but it's funny. I tuned it every now and then, but it always was funny. Like it'll do stuff that's very that's so random, but yet part of that part of what made kind of charming, what people keep coming back to is that randomness. So let me see. And for Carl, I think I'll definitely have him here. I think I'll have Carl here in the middle. I think for his mustache. Yeah, so you can see I'm not too. For this particular case, I figured I'd probably be a little bit liberal as far as actually drawing these characters. I figured instead of trying to copy the style, I think I'll make it more how I normally would do it. So let me see. Let me see. Maybe they're just kind of bit. And maybe I figure, their bug is kind of like thing with Batman and Robin, where they had the main Batmobile. Robin has kind of a buggy off his side, so I figured that's something I could probably do for him here. In fact, let me look up the Batmobile, see how that looked. I'm trying to see. I know I've seen one out there. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I'm finding it. I thought I'll see what I can do with this. I'll give them maybe our smaller wheels. So let me see. In fact, that's how probably what I'll do. I'll probably just go and round this out. So instead of being a little more angular, I think it'll be a little more rounder, kind of like an old school like Hanna-Barbera deal. I think that's what I'll go ahead and do. Also, I appreciate you guys that checked out the new video I posted, the one I did of Bluto and Brutus. Yeah, that was probably the first time I did probably first time I did where it's more of like a tutorial. And I'm planning on trying to do more of these in the near future, where I'm just doing more videos like where it's a where I'm drawing something, I'm walking through like the whole like creative process. And it was kind of a challenge because normally I'm so used to kind of like rambling about them here, like in the streams, but to actually kind of organize everything and making sure it's in a way that's comprehensive and makes a little more sense than I usually do. It was a lot of fun, so I definitely look forward to doing more. Another thing I'm definitely considering doing more is I definitely am considering doing another I think sketchbook tour, because I did recently come across a lot more of my older sketchbooks. I am considering on doing another sketch tour, one of those, because I've even found some older ones. I think the oldest ones I have, I'd say they date back to at least around, I want to say around 2009. Like that's about as far as I could. So that'll kind of give you an idea how far back they go. I used to have some that went back further than that, but a lot of like the really really old ones I have that I had like either they've gotten lost or I intentionally like kind of like tossed them. So let me kind of get the top of his hat here. Let me see if I can round this out. Because I think I give their car kind of like a retro 60s vibe. I figured they probably got a pretty small dashboard. Oops, excuse me. Let me just bring the grill down a bit more. I think I give their car kind of like a retro 60s vibe. I figured they probably got a pretty small dashboard. Oops, excuse me. Let me just bring the grill down a bit more. I think I give their car kind of like a retro 60s vibe. I figured they probably got a pretty small dashboard. I'm gonna guess I can get these wheels. And I'm aware this car is probably not structurally sound, but this car, buggy, probably not structurally sound, but we'll make it work. And honestly, the show ran for a lot longer than I thought. Because I know, of course, it was on Adult Swim. Of course, it ran for like 2000 or 15. But also, I didn't know that yeah, apparently, apparently like there was more episodes. I think that came out online. Cause I think it came up to about it was like 12 seasons. I honestly had no idea it had that many seasons. I was genuinely surprised. Let me kind of get his little hand here. Oh, excuse me. Hang on. Think about the backside of the buggy here. Yeah. All right. So I'm kind of liking how this is looking so far. Let me get my mechanical pencil. Let me just actually kind of fine tune this a bit more. Yeah, so I know I spent a little longer than I intended, but that's the thing, with sketching. Sometimes it can take a lot. Sometimes they take a lot longer than expected because, like, cause while you're sketching, you're also kind of like plotting. You're also kind of plotting out your ideas as well. Cause like this is why it always helps to make sure you kind of start pretty light as you sketch early on. So that way, when it's t- when you start committing to an idea, that's less of like second guessing work you have to do because you did a lot of your pre planning beforehand. With your rough sketch. So we draw him behind the wheel. I think I'll have the hubcap lights maybe kind of have them stick out. I think we'll have this come out the bottom and curve around. I'm trying to think now. Do I want to trying to think if I want to keep this cross section here, or if I just kind of if I just bring this over. I'm trying to think. How do I want to do this? Let me see. Let me see. think I will go ahead and bring him over. I think I will bring him over. Of course, let me bring the extra hubcap here in the middle. You have the smaller wheel in the middle here. Yeah, now I realize how's it gonna get in on this side. Well, maybe. I guess maybe don't. They probably don't need a door on this side. Oh, I forgot. Let me make sure they have their windows, the rear view mirrors. I realized I didn't have that. Got one on this side. Let me get the other here. It's like I might need to bring. Let me see if I can bring these wheels down a bit more. Let me see. I think what I will do. Let me see if I can bring the hubcaps around here. All right. So let me get with that. Let me get car here while we're at it. Let me get his stash, his glorious stash here. Side of his cheeks. Let me get some of the wrinkles in his face. Let me get his chin. Let me get his little tank top. And of course his medallion. Get some of his arm hair. Yeah, I didn't realize a whole half hour had passed already. hands. Maybe it's kind of he's got one on the side of the hood. I think it's the other one on the side. Let's get the sides of his lid for top of his head. Let's get his little straw. He's got like a bendy straw. So I'll draw a little cross section in the middle. Then we'll have some of that tapioca that kind of oozes out and kind of flint flying like in the back. And one thing I'm surprised I didn't know until just recently is that for the original theme song I got this song was old school gangster rap artist Schooly D. I'm surprised I didn't put two together until now because as of recent I've been getting into a lot of old school like hip hop as of lately. So I've been listening to a lot of NWA, Eric Rakim, but also I've been listening quite a bit of Schooly D too. And I don't know why I hadn't really put two and two together until just recent when I was looking up things for the show. Because he had a very distinct voice. He had a very distinct flow when it comes to his rapping. So let's get his eyes here. Bring out his fry locks. Yeah, I think when I start coloring this in, I'm not sure what color I'm gonna use for his little zapping rays, but I'll I'll know soon enough. Towards him, we get those individual fries he's got on him. Bring his nose down a bit here because he has kind of a wider nose. There we go. All right, cool. So now that we've done that, let me see if I can see what ink pens I have on hand. Okay, cool. That's perfect. So I think I am gonna do is gonna just start, just kind of just drawing all these guys, just going in. Normally, I would start with one of our thicker ink pen, but I figure like when it comes like the small details, I prefer to just start off, small pens first, and then gradually like work my way up to like the bigger pens. I might have to switch out to a different one because this like might be running out of ink. And of course, unlike Shake Fry's got pretty thick eyebrows, his are thicker. So let me make sure I get those nice and pronounced. Yeah, I'll definitely have to give this show a rewatch one of these days because I know that when I last watched it, I think the last scenes I remember watching, I want to say it was season 7 or 8. It was a little while after the movie dropped because I remember that was like a pretty big deal. Like when once it came out, at least here in Atlanta when I first heard about it, it was pretty big. Because I remember that. I remember that little live action skit they did where it had like live people playing. Because I think T Pain he had played Frylock, and I forgot the guy who in the live action who did Carl, but I remember I think there was like a I don't know if it was a petition or the contest to see who would play Carl in the show. They had a lot of different entries. I have no idea. I forgot the dude's name, but whoever they got, he did a really good job. But even on the actual show itself, all the voice actors do actually do a pretty good job, especially since some of them are ones I haven't really done that often. Because I know like Carrie Means, I think Friday that's kind of one of his main like roles. Cause I think the only stuff I think he's done aside from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, of course, I think he did like a one-off character, some of the one-off characters from the Bragg show, which came a few years before. I think he was on a few other shows too. I think another show called Welcome to the Wayne. He was on another show called The Amen. But Frylock is kind of his main one. And Dave Willis, well, he also, he kind of does double duty, where he also did, like Carl, but he also does Meatwad as well. But on top of that, he's one of the animators and one of the co-creators of the show as well. And then on top of that, you got like Dana Snyder, who does Shake, and he's been involved, involved with the show. He's been involved with like cartoon for a long time because he's been doing voice acting for the longest time. I think he's been doing it since yeah. I know according to Wikipedia it says he's been doing it since 1995. I'm pretty sure he's done it earlier since then. Unless I'm confusing with a different actor. So let me get the straw for his hook. And I remember, with when it came on back when I used to watch Adult Swim all the time. I think the show usually come on. I think around. I remember it would come on. I think around I think it was around 12 or 1. Because I remember for a while, with their schedule, I remember they would always start with the more. Hey man, good art. Oh, Quip. Hey, thanks. I'm glad you like it. Hey, glad you like it. Yeah, for some of those that are dropping in, basically what I'm doing, I'm drawing the Aqua Team Hunger Force, but I'm actually drawing them as their original concept, as when they were crime fighters. Because basically, what happens, like when they were initially produced the show, because initially it was kind of a one-off idea from Space Ghost from Coast to Coast, and their products appeared on that show. But then, after a while, they figured let's take an actual real show itself. But they knew that but even though they always intended for it to be a show where they kind of do they do like random things and get into various misadventures, they knew a lot of these Cartoon Network executives wouldn't really gel with that idea, so they kind of bait and switch type of deal. Hayden, hey Hayden, nice to meet you. Hey, glad you dropped in. Hey, good to see you. But I remember it always come on, I think around like 12 or 1. And I think after they did after the creators that did Aqua Teen Hunger, they did Squidbillies, which I thought was alright. But I've always preferred Aqua Teen Tween more. Because I know Dan Snyder, because like who else? Because what other person I want to mention? I know I forgot what characters he did, but George Lowe. I know he was kind of more like the voice actor on hang on, let me see. I know back initially on Space Ghost, which is where the prototype disappeared. He did Space Ghost on that show, but I know he did end up doing various voice work on this show as well. So let me get the eyes here too. Let me get this little tooth and cover off the side here. There we go. Yeah, because I think the very last ones that came out, it was actually like as late, most recent as I guess 2022. Because I think they had like five episodes for the show's 12th season. And see, I had no idea it even came up. I think it was part of the hey, it was part of a revival from what I've heard. Cause let me, cause like, let me look up real quick. It says, give me just one moment. Cause I think I have one Wikipedia page up. I'm looking at the show. It says here during an interview to see its cancellation, Mario said there are no plans to revive Aqua Teen Hunger Force, but we could return one day. And parents said they've been offering said in 22, Aqua Teen began uploading Aqua Teen Hunger Force shorts under the name Aqua Side Pieces to their YouTube channel. Said the shorts are less than 4 minutes long. Revolvers of Vortex repeating their roles. Okay, so these are like smaller episodes. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'll just kind of look at another link, like Wikipedia links to see what it was about. And if they don't bring it back fully, I think it's fully fine because I feel the show had a pretty good run. And in a way, it was kind of pretty influential too. Because I think because I noticed at that time, I think a lot of the shows that were on Adult Swim, they didn't really have that type of have that kind of slow, like random vibe like Aqua Teen did. Because I know at that point, I think there were shows they played pretty regular. You had the Brack Show, C Lab. This kind of I'm just kind of thinking off the top of my head like shows that Adult used to play like back in the day, back when they first came out. I think C Lab, the Brack Show, Harvey Birdman. I think what was another? I think what was another one they used to play? Oblongs. That was another one. Mission Hill. In fact, funny enough, Mission Hill. That's especially I know that's become like a huge kind of cult classic. Because I'm thinking of the. Because what I'm thinking like early Adult Swim. I think it was like right before they acquired some of the shows from Fox. It was like right before they acquired like King of the Hill, Futurama, Family Guy. So we get his arms. Yeah, I'm glad you liked the video. But yeah, I definitely do plan on doing more videos like that, where I just do more of a walkthrough. Because even though I do like rambling like I do on the streams, at the same time, I do want to start doing more videos where I can be a little more instructive. As I'm drawing. That's why a lot of times, even if I'm not doing streams, I always try to make sure whenever I'm doing like these drawings at my desk, I always try to make sure I have my my camera I'm rolling, so I can capture everything. I can use it when I need to. Oh, chicken nugget. Oh yeah, that's actually meat wad right there. In a way, I guess you could say a chicken nugget is a type of meat wad. It's a poultry meat wad. Yeah, I think I've got. Figure maybe he's probably wedged inside there. Let me get this little front light here. Let me get his little front wheel. Yes, I'm aware this car's not the most aerodynamically sound, but I figured for a crime fighter car, you can probably take some liberties, especially when that crime fighter car features 3 Anthro Morgan like food items. Let me get the front top up here as well. Let me see. connected. Let me can't forget the mirror right here. Let me get the other top mirror. I figure I keep everything pretty round. Cause you know, like old school, like Hanna-Barbera, they would have like a nice mixture of like having their characters either be very round, but they be very angular too. And that is something I have been trying to do, is actually experiment as far as I draw my characters, doing characters that are a little bit more angular. Just to kind of switch things up. Let me at the front of the dashboard here. Let me get the wheel. Let me see. Kind of want to do something special with the hood. Let me see what I. Let me look up a few of like front, few hoods of cars just to see what will look best. I think what I got's fine, but I kind of want to do something else, something a little different too, just to make it a little bit better. Uh, I guess I'm good. I guess I can keep it as is. I think their little logo, and I think I'll have it be a shape of their logo. Then we'll add the front grille, the front bumpers. In the middle, let's go across. Yeah, because I figure I want to kind of have their car be somewhat of a retro 80s look. I was thinking maybe a Cadillac, maybe an Impala, a lowrider. Because those are very urban like stylized cars. Let me get the bottom of their wheel. Okay, nice. So now that we've done that, oh, actually, let me get the siding of their car. Probably shouldn't have done that. In fact, let me see if we can break out one of our other pens. Let me see. I just saw it a moment ago. See, now that I got my main line set, now let's go back to a thicker line. But I remember back when I'm just keep talking while I'm finding this pen. But I remember back when Adult Swim first dropped. Yeah, I'll admit at first I didn't really like it at first because keep in mind I'm a nice kid, so I always used to kind of like staying up late and just watching Cartoon Network all night long, or at least until like I had to fall asleep. And of course, I always watch like Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, old school Hanna Barbera stuff, was on. So like flash forward to when Adult Swim dropped, and they had all these news shows out where they had this more adult sense of humor. And granted, at the time, like they hadn't really gone like the route of say like something like Family Guy, where they had stuff that was a little more while it was adult, it wasn't really edgy like a lot of later shows would get. But it was type of humor that I really didn't really understand and really get at the time. So of course I ended up kind of going off towards Disney Channel. But then like a few years later, as mom tasting and cartoons start changing over time, I figure I returned to them, returned to Cartoon Network. Yeah, I started looking at what type of shows that Adult Swim had, and I found myself really liking them. Just felt the bottom portion here. Yeah, so I'm just kind of using this side, just kind of getting various line weights. So I'm just kind of varying up the different types of line weight I'm using, especially for these fries. I'm just kind of picking up his eyebrows here. From the side, I always try to have the really thick lines around each character just to make them pop. Just kind of goes through on the bottom of this top here. That looks good. Now let me just make these pupils just a bit bigger, just to make them stand out a bit from Frylock here. There we go. That looks much better. I like that. In fact, I think I will make. Well, I think I will make Frylock's eyes a little bit bigger. Just get around the tapioca that's coming out of his straw here. Let me go around Car Hill while we're at it. And of course, let me not get his stash. Let me get his glorious stash. I think I'll just go and color that in while we're over here. Kind of go on the bottom of him here. All right. Go on the underside here. I might make another pass on the outer outlines, but I'll decide when I get around to it. Maybe kind of thicken up the I was thinking about erasing our red pencil marks here, but I think I'll probably keep them as is. I think I won't erase them just yet. Let me get the underside of his wheels. Get the bottom of the bumper. Bring that around, have it come down. Bring it on back up. I think while I'm at it, let me add a little kind of chrome sheen to it while we're down here. he's coloring the side of his wheel. Get that in. Let me see. Get the inside these hubcaps here. And I almost considered doing anime tonight, since I know that's one of my other regular reviews suggested I do for tonight. But I figure I'll probably save that for tomorrow. Plus, I've been more fitting, like, since anime's often aired a lot back when it's aired, they aired a lot during Saturday mornings. Yeah, but you know, I've kind of said this for my last stream. I'm trying to kind of get in the habit of like streaming on both like Friday nights and Saturday nights. Cause I figure, you know what, stream on Friday nights just to kind of get a different vibe. You know, on Saturday nights, I figure like since I didn't do a lot of cartoons, I figure like since Saturday for a long time, that's always been the tape for cartoons, like for TV. I figure why not do it on Saturday mornings? I think it's been a while since I've had to do any sketches, not any live streams. But I did it on a Sunday. But I know Sundays usually those are a little bit busy because sometimes people have work, and plus I usually have other things I have to do. A lot of things I have to do on those days too. Okay, that looks good. Let me see. Then I have a reflective sheen for the from the mirrors. Yeah, for the other side too. Let me go to the inside the grill. There we go. Alright, I think that's looking pretty good. Let me see, what else do I need to color in? I think I'll go and color in his mustache while I'm at here. I know on the show, you know, Frylo's much, it's more like a dark brown. But I think for here, I think I'll just make it like a... I think I'll just have it be just black. Just for that extra contrast. Alright, I think that's good. So now we can move on to our next part, you know, which is coloring this in. So give me just a few moments, let me see if I can find my markers. Give me just a few minutes, be right back. Alright, here we go. Figure for here, normally I always start with my brightest colors first. I'm definitely going to start with some yellow. Of course, we start with Frylock's locks. probably should have waited for the ink to dry a little bit more. I see it's kind of smearing a bit, but that's fine. I can work with it. Because sometimes that's what you gotta do. You just gotta roll with it sometimes. Got a little hubcap. Let me see what else I can use some yellow. Oh yeah, of course Shake's little arms, his disembodied not arms, his disembodied hands. He never really had arms. I was thinking about using a green. I couldn't decide if I wanted to do green or yellow. I was thinking about doing green because I know that's pretty much kind of the color that appears a lot now because they got that green carpet, those green walls in the background, that green fridge. Medallion. In fact, I think that's why we'll move on next. Let me see what I got. Let me see how that looks. I think what I probably will is if I don't like how this green, you know what, that works. Never mind. This thing works fine. I was gonna say if I don't like how this green looks, is I was probably gonna use like a different card, maybe a different shade of green or maybe a yellow to kind of go over it. Give it that nice kind of like almost grimy color. So let's see. But it helps, since I got a lot of red that's underneath, these underneath sketch lines, gotta mix in with, the green to kind of give like this brownish like moldy color. Let's go on the edge. Alright. Because for this bug, I was thinking about being kind of like Speed Buggy from the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. But I didn't really want to look too much like that. Still want to have a little kind of unique design to it. Let me get the back side of their buggy. And I think what I'll do for the inside, I think for the inside to see, I have that be like a dark green. Normally I don't move on to dark colors just yet, but I figured I think now is a better time than never. That's a little darker than I expected. Let me switch back to our green. Got this little corner here, here. Little area here. Alright, let's see. We got a piece of paper out. Let me check out this Carmine and see if that's a good color for it. It's not the color I want. Let me see if I got another one. I had one that was more like a red orange. I don't see it. I'm trying to think what happened to it. You know what? I'll make it work. I can always go over some yellow. Go some yellow if I want to kind of like brighten it up. Yeah, actually, you know what? This is fine. Go around his bottom lip. I'm all decided if I want to make this more. Instead, keep it the more handbar. Be looking like handbar wrestler. Should I want it to be more of a graffiti style? Cause that'll be weird. Sometimes I'll be working on something, and a new idea will just pop up even when I'm halfway through it. Let me see what I could use for. I think for a zappy rays, I think I'll use like a light, just light blue here. There we go. Let me see. I should have a light yellow in here somewhere. Let me see. If not, I can improvise. There we go. They use that to color in his eyes. Got that. Let's see. Yeah, that works perfect. Gets a nice deep shade of purple. I'm trying to see. There was something else I was going to mention. I forgot what it was. It'll come back to me probably soon enough. I know I have a different shade of green I can use for tapioca coming out of him. Let me see how that looks. Yeah, that works perfect. I need like a different type of brown. Let me see a burnt orange. Let me see how that looks. Nah, it's a little too dark. Let me see what else I got. This one's a little bit better. Let's see. It's running out of ink. Let me stop. I might be able to make this work. Ooh, I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I do not think this is working. You know what? Sorry, marker. I know you still got a link you, but I think it's time to go ahead and retire you. Let me see. I know I have another one in here I can use. Let me see. Yeah, I got like a whole like little packet of like markers I'm going through. So, as I'm going through, I'm kind of picking out which ones that aren't good, and just kind of using the ones that are so good. I'll just use this one right here. Yeah, they're okay. That's perfect. I can always go over maybe some orange. Let me check on something for a moment. I'm trying to think who was probably my favorite character. Like, I want to say my favorite. It's gotta be a tie between Carl and Shake. I know it's hard to tell which one because I know like I feel like Carl. I think a lot of the best line, at least what I remember from him. They always came from Carl. But all these situations Shake got, they always I think make the show like really entertaining. might probably go over maybe as an orange or something to kind of brighten up this brown a bit. Yeah, because this is a little... Because even though this is kind of the shade I'm looking for, it's a little brighter than I would like. So let me use an orange. Yeah, let's go over that. All right, cool. All right, let's see. Let me see if I have a cool gray. I need some grays I can use here. Use that for the wheels. Around the edge. Cool, 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 cool. I should have a lighter one I can use here though. I'm trying to see where that is. This was a little light. Not as light as I would want, but let's try it. Let's see how that looks. Okay, cool. That works perfect. The other side here. Let me get around the edge. Maybe at the edge of his lip. Yeah, I might go back to something with a different type of pen. Go back with some highlights. Use that color in the wheel. Let's see. What else do we got? Yeah, because we'll be done with this pretty soon. Alright. got another dud here? No, not quite. So far, I have to toss this one, though. This was definitely running out of ink, too. Alright, another one that's gonna be retired. Let's get the side of a shake here. Let me shade over the lid. Add a shadow here. Let me see something a little darker. Add a few things to just kind of sprucing this up a bit more. Actually, I think I know what I'm gonna do. It looks like a splatter like effect. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this effect I got going here. could use some blue for the bottom. Let me see if I got any blue. Let me see if I have any blues here I can use. I'll just use the color in the top. Yeah, so once I've kind of gotten some, I got the paint looking how I really want it. Now I tend to get in the zone because I'm just looking for areas where I can really kind of like fine tune it now. I think I'll go color in his. I think I'll shade in the eyelids. I'm trying to think, what else can I use here? See how this pink looks. Onyx Paws, hey, nice to meet you. Glad you dropped in. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's go around the edges here. They'll go on the sides here too. I think I need to cover some of these mid-tones here. Yeah, because our Aqua team crew, they'll be pretty much finished up soon enough. I know I said that a few minutes ago. But that's what happens. You think you're done, but you find other things you can need to add. Honestly, I've never been heard my name tends to be pronounced. So I don't even know how to say. Hello, I'm a searcher. I've got to say Onyx. I mean, Onyx just that's the way I've always pronounced it. I know some people say Onyx, but Onyx is how I pronounced it. Because anytime I hear the word Onyx, I always think the hip hop group Onyx from the '90s. Because they had a couple of they had Slam, that was a big one. Another one was what was another one? Throw Your Guns in the Air, Shut It Down. I think that's another big one because that's the one they did with DMX, the late DMX. what else can I add? Let me see. Now, I'll break out my gel pen just for an extra spruce ups. Let me erase it. Let me bring that down. Where's the thick one I just had a moment ago? I'm gonna let that dry and come back to it later. I know viewers, I can use it here. Use that here. Definitely use it here. Just go along the edge here. Get some nice highlights. Really just kind of make this a nice shiny looking car. Onyx. Onyx. Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. I think I'll go around our little hub, our little emblem here in the middle. I'm kind of loosely got shaped in the Aqua Force logo. And you probably can't really tell that it's kind of small, but that's what I'm going for. Let me add loads of highlights here. Add a highlight here. And alright, I actually believe that is it for this one. So guys, that is the Aqua Teen Hunger Force crew in action. You know, with Carl on the side. So I hope you all really enjoyed the stream. So for any of the newcomers here, one of the things I did last week, I did two streams last week. So I did one. This is actually the one I did the video on. I actually did one with from Bluto from the old Popeye cartoons, and also Brutus from the old TV series. That was one of the ones I did. That's actually the one where I did the new video on. So I did that. But another one that I did that was also a lot of fun, which I did the next day. This was also this is actually a character done by ours that's popular on Blue Sky. I think called John Thor. And he did especially like kind of draw this character in your own style type of challenge. So basically, he kind of posts one of his own characters, and he asked if people can actually draw it in their own style. So that's why I went and did that stream. And when I posted, he actually saw it and liked it. So that was a lot of fun. That was good to know. So guys, I hope you all really enjoy tonight's stream. I know it went a little longer than expected, but I really love how well this one turned out. And so I'll definitely be back probably tomorrow morning around like 10:30. I'm probably drawing a like that, how you say, like Meet YouTuber, but the long one for the sound. I would say like a Meet YouTuber. I think I know which one you're talking about. I just can't remember the name at the moment. Let me add a little bit here. I can't think of the name of them. I think I know which one you're talking about. Alright, well guys, that is pretty much it for Oh yeah, 10:30. Yeah, 10:30. I figured since I tend to do a lot of cartoons on Saturday, I figured like Saturday morning kind of spirit type of deal. There have been certain instances where I have started a little later depending on what I'm going on in the day as far as errands go. But every now and then we'll switch things around. But I will start streaming tonight. I'll probably stream for maybe about 2 hours around that time, if not a little later. So, guys, I'm about to go and get out of here because I shut down. It was really great seeing you all, especially some of these newcomers. Great seeing you, meeting you, Onyx Pause. Great seeing you, Hayden. Quip, nice to meet you too. Tropican, it was great seeing you as well. And I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you. Have a great night.